Okay, we are live. My name is Tyler Rodriguez. It is my absolute privilege to be here. I am the coordinator for the Western New York Women's March. I am a team member and a supporter of Western New York Peace Center. Here with me today are two amazing women. And what we do here once a month with the Western New York Peace Center is celebrate women who have female-centered advocacy events in the spirit of continuing our advocacy around the Western New York Women's March. So I'm going to give my guests the floor to introduce themselves, and we're going to go right into talking about their respective events, what's motivated them, and all of the other things that they want to share with everyone tonight. So Ayana, do you want to lead us off with an intro?
Sure. Hi guys, I'm Ayana Tracy. I am a MMIW activist, which is an activist for the murdered missing Indigenous women, also girls, Two Spirits, and LGBT community.
Pastora, do you want to go next? Okay. Pastora, can you hear us? We may have lost her. I think she froze. So we have another guest that will be joining us back into the stream. Ayana and I are here to talk about the Walk in Her Shoes fashion showcase, but we also have an event coming up that we wanted to share. Many of you know. Oh, are you with us?
I'm here.
Oh, I don't know. I'd be screaming. Okay, bendición, ¿cómo está? If you want to introduce yourself, that'd be wonderful. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Well, my name is Lucila Matos, and I am from I am the against domestic violence.
Perfect. And Pastora, one of the things I want to definitely see your lovely face, but I definitely got a little like lag. So if at all, I'll indicate to you, and then maybe we'll try just turning off your camera. But I'm so excited for you to be here. As I was saying to everyone in the audience, the Western New York Peace Center, we advocate for peace through justice for all the 8 counties of Western New York. Obviously, our international communities. We have some amazing events coming up. One of which is planned by Kelly Camacho, Kelly Hay, and also Buffalo and our local community. So, Pastora, you are in Central New York. You are in Rochester. Can you let everybody know, for those of you who are already familiar, and those of you who are listening who are new, what the date of your event is and the location?
Okay, the day of the event is this Saturday, the 19th, at 9 o'clock in the morning at Pamela Jackson Park. It's right behind school number 9 on Clinton Avenue, 485 North Clinton Avenue. Normally, I do this event in different parts of the city because what I do is that I pray through the city. While I am walking, I am praying, and we are declaring, and we are giving to the Lord the areas that we are praying for them. Yep. So the walk is against domestic violence, and everybody's invited, completely free. Everything is free. Everybody will get a free T-shirt, and everyone will get a lots of giveaways that I got. So I am waiting for all of you to be there.
Ayana, I literally should have worn my T-shirt. Pastora, I had the privilege of attending last year, and it is definitely on my list for this year. I think for me, one of the things that I'm really excited about is just talking about the Western New York Peace Center. We were actually formed in the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, who obviously led our nation and many diverse nations through faith. So I think it's so amazing to be able to share space with people of all different faiths, and also, but to highlight yours and the way that that has motivated you to organize. So just, Ayana, and I'm going to pause to allow you to ask any questions or any reflections, but just to circle in and something that I'm really proud of in terms of the event calendar and the different ways that Rochester and Central New York advocate for people who have the lived experience of interpersonal violence. Is yours not the only Latina-driven or Latina-centered event that is in the region?
Right now, there are a couple other events, but domestic violence-wise, I'm the only one right now.
I think that's really special. Ayana, did you have any reflections or any questions you wanted to ask?
Yeah. How long have you been putting these events together?
Well, this is going to be our 12th. This is going to be our 12th walk against domestic violence. We started it 2012, I believe. In 2012. We started there. Yeah, we started it, and then it was an idea. It was a one-day event. I said, we're gonna do this walk, one-time event. That's it. We're not gonna do it ever again, just one time. But people were just like, we need to continue doing this. And every year I'm like, well, this is gonna be the second one, I'm gonna stop. And the third one, and I'm gonna stop. And I said to the point, you know what? Forget about it. This is when God tells me to stop. And God has not told me to stop. One of the things is that in January, usually I forget about the walk. When I'm done in August, I forget about it. And then in January, the Lord start putting it in my mind, in my heart again. You gotta go again. Get ready. And here I am again. I said, God, I stop whenever you want me to stop.
I'm so proud of you. No, Ayana, do you want to talk a little bit about your event? Because this is the first year Ayana is planning events. So this is good because you've been planning. Ayana's new to this, even though she's not a new advocate. So I'm just going to let her ask any questions, right? I'm so proud of you. Yo soy bien, yo no sé, orgullosa,
Orgullosa,
right?
gracias.
Orgullosa. Y yo soy bien, like, I don't know how to say grateful, but Ayana, to be able to participate in it and then talk to you about it is really cool. So I'm going to let you have the floor. Like any questions you might have.
Um, let's see. So I am starting my event. I'll be doing my first event on October 9th. It is called Walk in Her Shoes. I will be doing a fashion show to bring awareness to the murdered missing Indigenous women's, girls, and Two-Spirit crisis that is going on within the United States and Canada. So, yeah, that's my big thing that I've been working on. I've been grateful and blessed to be able to have Talia to be a part of this.
Oh, I'm so excited. And Ayana, say how old you are because you're jovencita. You're a very young leader. And I think that many people find that as a point of inspiration if you mind sharing with us.
Yeah, I am 22. I will be 23 at the end of this month.
Wow. Okay, so here I am. I am the grandma here. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow.
You are.
I'm gonna be 50
Oh,
in a couple months.
good. Look,
And no, you look super young. And I think that one of the things I want to say is I'm so grateful to both of you for coming to share space with me as the coordinator of the West New York Women's March. Like I've had the privilege of working with Deidre and Victoria and Victory, excuse me, my mentor, and many others in building spaces for all types of people to come together from all walks of life to raise awareness. So like both of you thinking about your experiences, I think the number one thing that I want to ask as a host, right, is how can people get involved and support both of you? So we obviously want folks to attend, but for your event that's at the end of the week, and then Ayana, that our event, if I can say our, that's coming in October, like, you know, there's different ways that we want to invite people to get involved. So did you want to lead, Pastora, in if somebody's listening right now and just learning about your event for the first time, if they can't come, what, or like physically be there with us, because I definitely plan on coming, like what are other things that they can do to support?
Okay, well, okay, let's start from the beginning. Walk Against Domestic Violence is a branch of Out of the Darkness ministry. Out of the Darkness ministry is a re-entry home that we have, my family and me, where we have women that come out of jail, or they come out of where they get where they go for drug addictions, and then they go in, they get clean, and then they get out, and then we are able to take them. So we have that at home. The Walk Against Domestic Violence is a branch. So if you want to be able to do any donation or to help out Out of the Darkness, you have to go to outofthedarknessrock.org. The Darkness Rock, ROC.org. That is our ministry, and that is where we have the house for the women. Right now we have 12 women. We have close to 19 rooms. So we are doing very good job with these girls. Now, If you can make it Saturday, that will be amazing. If you want to send a donation also, you can do it through the page of Out of the Darkness. That will be the best way to do it, and keep us in prayer, because prayer is what keeps us going.
I'm just so proud of you. The t-shirts I think are something that I really want to highlight as someone who had the privilege of experiencing Latino politics at a time in the 90s when things in Puerto Rico were really exciting when we had elections. If you are Puerto Rican, tú eres Boricua, like it's a shirt. We need everyone to have the same shirt, Ayana, especially if you went to church. So I love the community that you build in providing the shirt. Can you talk a little bit about people who help you do that, or what like the imagery is, or kind of like what the process is behind that? Because I think that might inspire Ayana and I. When you think about someone coming to the fashion showcase, I always want people to leave with something, and it's so kind of hard to figure out how. So tell us the story of the shirt. When did you start that, and who supports that?
It's kind of cutting, right?
Yeah, no, but you know what? You're caught up. So if you want, you can either try to turn off your camera, because sometimes that brings a little bit more clarity to the Wi-Fi line. But I think also just the beauty of StreamYard, wanting to Think Twice Radio, Ayana, and everybody else that's helped me kind of get here to become a producer. So I know kind of like what's going on in the background. Hopefully the Pastora will join us again. But yeah, shirts are a super important part
Can
of
you
her
hear me?
building, and I think she might be back to talk to us a little about those. Oh, you're back. Yay. So, the
Oh,
question.
the t-shirts. Well, the t-shirts is something, is I get donations for only the t-shirts. I get donation for only the t-shirt from people from the community, either churches or friends or family who help out for me to get t-shirts. I give out t-shirt completely free. I do not charge nothing for the t-shirts. I want to be able to make this event very completely free, so people who are, I don't want people to think about coming to the event because of money. Oh, I cannot go because I need money to pay for the t-shirt. I need money to walk. I want them to come because domestic violence is something that's real. And if I'm gonna want to make awareness about something, I want to make it for free. I want to make it free. And that's my thinking. That's the way I think, you know. And that's pretty much the way we do it. The teachers, and like you said, this is a Boricua thing. Everybody needs to have their teacher. Everybody needs to match. Everybody needs to be the same. That is a Boricua thing, and I don't know.
I think there's a beautiful sense of equity that comes from that. Ayana has heard me talk about the story of my grandmother who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King, but many people don't know, unless you've read some of my columns, Latina History, in which you were featured, was that she was a survivor of domestic violence as well. So I think that one of the things that really empowers me is telling that dual story of how, though she was in process, like many of the women that you have in staying with you, like she was also fighting at the same time and like advocating for someone. So when I did participate, I marched in her honor, and it was a great privilege on my part. Also, that I do have the background of religion that you share, and that really also brings me a sense of great joy and privilege. Ayana, when you think about what you're hearing about kind of like the t-shirts and the community building, and you think about our event that's coming, do you want to describe a little bit kind of about similarly like the energy you want people to have when they're in the room, or like the feeling you want them to leave with, or maybe what you also might want them to learn about MMIW G2S if it's new to them?
I am, whether if it's new to them or it's something they know a lot about, a little bit about, the experience that I want to give the audience is really hence the play on the name of the title, is I want them to leave feeling like they walked in her shoes. So they know a little they come out knowing a few statistics, they know what the MMIWG2S stands for. They know maybe even some of the other different acronyms like MMI P for Murder Missing Indigenous Peoples. But I definitely want them to be able to walk out and be like, wow, that's what it's like to live in their shoes. What can I do next to help the next person that's missing? How do I learn more about this information myself?
Absolutely, Ayana. Thank you for that. And especially for people who are of the communities that I am of that are bilingual, acronyms, sometimes it's a lot, especially because you both know I'm neurologically divergent. So I love that you're explaining MMIG to what did I forget? Ayana, can you start from the top for me just as a point of education for maybe those of us who are just joining right now?
MMIWG2S. So murdered, missing, indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit people.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pastora, did you have a reflection?
I just think that as long as we are trying to build up women's to feel better of themselves, to feel proud of themselves, to feel respected, to be not to feel. Feeling is one thing, being respected is another thing. I always tell my girls, when you are in a relationship, it's an abusive relationship, and you leave that relationship, don't jump right away into another relationship. Build yourself, respect yourself, love yourself, understand yourself, like yourself. Why? Because the next person who's going to come to you needs to love you more than what you already love yourself, more than what you already respect yourself. So when we do this type of events, we are teaching women we need to respect ourselves. We have to respect ourselves so we can be respected. And when they see women young, like our friend here, 22, 23 years old, having this thought about helping other women, is extremely encouraging for anybody who's seeing, because the need is so important, and I applaud you for doing it. I want to get more information about it. I want to see if I can make it there in October. I have 3 events going on in October, so let me see. But I'm really would like to be part of it and be there. We
Yeah.
have we have
Best
a
social
big
media.
outreach.
Give my flyer more information about it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just elated. I'm proud of both of you. Pastora, you touched on something that I want to probably start to close our space with. So there's going to be just something that I share from my perspective, and then 2 questions that I want to pose to both of you, so you can answer and kind of give each other space to respond. But for me, I think one of the things that I want to focus on, and why, as someone who is a graduate of law school and a historian, I think these types of public demonstrations are so important, is I just want to remind people, throughout American history and history of other colonization, our communities weren't able to gather in large groups by law, on purpose. So when my grandma marched, part of what she was marching for was the inclusion, and the 300,000 other Puerto Ricans that were with her, and indigenous people, and as well as obviously the Christian coalition that helped organize, was like the ability to have that space, like to literally be there and to have the march outside or to have the march at a public college. And I'm just so excited for the public demonstration of leadership that you both bring to both communities, because I've had the privilege to see both of you speak, and I'm deeply moved. So as the coordinator for the West York Women's March, I'm obviously begging your attendance for the next Women's March, and hopefully, obviously, your participation in planning. So I wanted to ask, as we close our space, and I get off my little historical soapbox, which if anybody wants to talk about public policy and the public act of demonstration, please contact me. It was when you both decided to put your energies behind organizing an event, did you have a moment when you decided this is the moment? Like, today is the day that I've decided I want to put something together, or I want to be an organizer? Or succinctly, I guess the question that I want to pose to both of you is, when did you decide that you wanted or you needed your own event to shape for your community to raise awareness in the unique way of your vision? Like, was there a certain day or moment, or like prayer or dream, or just where, or it was just something that, happened? I know you can obviously go first.
I don't think there was a moment when I personally decided. I was more gifted the opportunity when I met with April last January after the pageant. And that was my sign to really continue going with everything that I've been doing. And like, yep, this is what you're going to focus. This is what you're going to make a career out of. This is something you've always had a passion for. So let's make it a reality.
That I love the way that you put gifted. I don't know that the pastora is going to be able to join us again, but I really appreciate you spending time in community with her, talking about her event that's this weekend. And I absolutely love being able to see your leadership evolve. So, for those of us who are listening right now and who are just learning about your event, get to see you or saw you for the first time as a competitor in an event that I'm really proud of, that I also think has a core of, female awareness and resiliency and just like celebration. As we close our space, thinking about where your leadership is evolving, kind of what role do you want at your event? Do you want to be in the front? Do you want to be in the back with a clipboard? And kind of, again, if you just want to remind people of the date and how to follow you, and I will definitely put the flyer underneath the space.
Yes. I want to be a little bit of everywhere. I know I'm probably going to have to be a little bit of everywhere. Um, but I definitely want to take a moment and be able to take a welcome my event out myself, as well as having a few people introduce it and introduce me as well before I get to my own welcome. But I have no problem staying behind the scenes as well and being able to have a second to watch it all unfold.
I'm so excited. I hope to be like in all black somewhere hiding with a clipboard. You know how I am. I'm always like, okay, you go, you go. But I'm so excited for just you joining me in these space. I love being able to talk to people once a month about the events that they're planning and your participation in the Western New York Women's March. I think for me and encouraging you and kind of seeing you blossom and witnessing your leadership since then has just been such a great privilege. So I really appreciate you kind of like also co-hosting. I'm like nudging a co-host. I'm like, Ayana, please.
I'm
Um,
like really excited for that. I've been
yeah, thank you. I need you. I would love to talk to Karima next. She's another one of the board members for the Western New York Peace Center, and she has many events that are coming up. But definitely, if you're listening to Ayana and I, and you're part of the Western New York Peace Center family, or even if you're new today to joining our family, if you have an event that's focused, please reach out to one of us, and we'll see if we can get you scheduled into one of our episodes for our mini series.
yes.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, thank you. That is another episode of the Western New York Women's March mini series on the Western New York Peace Center. I want to thank Ayana. I want to thank Deidre. I want to thank Victory. I want to thank many people from the Western New York Peace Center. And I also want to remind everyone there will be a playback on 91.3 WBNY. So shout out to Greg and the entire team there, as well as Nellie, station president. And I want to encourage everybody to visit our website, which is www.westernnewyorkpeace.org. Thank you. Thank you, Ayana. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I know I appreciate you.